So yeah, so that is needed as part of that set assignment. So I just showed you one or two more things, but yeah, that's what this is all about. We have defined these three function parameters. Okay, function parameters are the function. What are function parameters? Let's take any existing function that we have already created. This one. So here A and B are the function parameters. So function parameters are the variables that are placed within the function, right? The function parameters are the variables that are placed within the function are the function parameters. And the functions which are, the values which we will use to call that function are known as arguments. If I have to write it down here, variables within function body are parameters, and variables used to call a function are arguments. Are we clear on these two?
Yeah.
What is a parameter? What is an argument? So parameter is something which we will use within the function of the body. We will use to play around A divided by B, any mathematical operation, string, Boolean, whatever. Those we will call them as parameters, model function parameters. And the things which we will use to call a function, like range 10. So we have used 10 to call this range function. So here the 10 value is an argument. So there could be one argument, there could be more than one argument. Like range function, if you just press shift tab, it will show you range function has three arguments: start, stop, and there is a step. So it takes three arguments, but the first and the last one are usually optional. If we will place any value, fine, otherwise it will take 0 for start and 1 for step, and stop is something that we have to specify, otherwise it will throw an error. So that is how we will use arguments and parameters within the function. Okay, local and global variables, pretty easy. What are local variables? What are global variables? Sorry, just one second. Okay, so sorry. So hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there are two things, global and local. So what they are? So as the name says, global and local are pretty self-explanatory. Are global variables which we can access throughout the notebook session or cells, whatever. Local are variables limited to only the function body. Those are local variables, right? So we have seen what are the different types of string integer variables are there, but here we are just naming them as global and local. And why is that? See, the values here within this function are okay. Just understand one thing. The names we have used here A, B, and the values here we have used as A, B, they don't necessarily have to be same. So they could be completely different. Like here, just let me change it with A1, B1. First name is A1, B1, and then just, yeah, see this. So L1 is a list, right?
Yeah.
L1 is a variable because it stores some value. This is an object, list object, which stores some value. So we can say L1 is global because we can access the same L1 from here as well. And we can do any operations with it. As far as we are within the same session and within the same kernel is something that I showed you the other day. As far as within the same session of this Python notebook, whatever work we are doing, we can access L1 from anywhere, because this is directly saved in the computer memory, right? So this is a global variable. But can we say the same for A1 and B1? Let's try. No, because the scope of A1 and B1 are only limited to this particular function names. So we cannot use these variables outside this particular function. Within this function, we can use them as many number of times. But outside of this function, we would not be able to use it. Getting it? So as I said, the names are pretty self-explanatory. Global and local. Global means something which you can access from everywhere. And local variables are the variables which are only limited to the function body. Like here example A, B. So L1 we have seen we can use everywhere. We can use the L1 here as well. Inside of it, we can do that as well. But within, the local variables are something which cannot be used globally outside of that function. But global variables though are anyway, we are passing them as part of the function calling. So we are anyway using them. So that is the difference between global and local, right? Function parameters we have seen. And now these are two important things, types of arguments and lambda function. Lambda would need time, so we can probably start next day, but we will just quickly see four types of function arguments. Types of function arguments. Now we understood what a function argument is, right? When we are calling a particular function, whatever value we are passing it through, that is a function argument, right?
Okay.
Rajit?
Yes.
Okay, so no doubts on that part, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there are four types of function arguments. What they, okay, let me write it down as well. It will be easy for you. Okay, here as part of the markup, so these are things you can just practice it on your own. So these are like you can just play around with this. So one star is the one with the largest font size. If you increase the number of hash, it will just take down the number of fonts level by one or two something. And I think this will convert this into a bullet. How the bullets are coming. So within the help, you can just go through it, and this help or this documentation, or probably this one, this markdown reference. So this will tell you how to do what sort of a statement. Let's say like bold. If I want to do something like that, yeah, this will just convert the text into bold. So what I wanted is bullet points. I have to give stars, right? So yeah, so these are things that if you lose track of it, it will out of sight, out of mind things. Yeah, now it's working. And so let me write it down. So there are usually four types of function argument. One would be your default argument. That's the first one. The second would be your keyword based on keyword argument. The third would be your arbitrary, and the fourth would be your required, the mandatory ones. 3, 4 work by these two. Anyway, just leave it here. It's unnecessary taking time. So you can just play around with these things, right? So these are not that critical, but yeah, you can just play around. Let's focus on the important part. So the first one being default arguments. So default arguments are something that have some predefined values in it. So I mean, if we put some value, it's fine. If we don't put some value, it will anyway show the existing file. How to show it? Let me just show you here. Let me just write the code here. So let's say here, def welcome. This is a function, and there will be a name, and secret is equal to name. Then would be your name, right? Create this and then welcome. Let's say hi Ranjit, and yeah. So this is an example of a default argument. So understand what's happening. So this is the function welcome, right? It has two arguments, name and greet. Now, name is something that I will take directly from the user, right? So this argument will come directly from the user. But for the second parameter, greet, I have used a default value, which is high. I have used a default value, which is high. So if the user enters just the name, the default value will be used. The default parameter value will be used as part of the function. But if the user comes up with a new value, this one will be replaced by the new one. So hi will be replaced by hello because that's the latest one, right, Ranjit?
Yeah.
Any doubt? You understood what's happening here, or it's getting complicated?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yes, yes, I understand. But I'm getting some error when I code in the same program.
You're getting error. Just make sure this indentation is happening, or the name greet, the names are correct or not.
The name welcome is not defined. It's coming. Then
No, within function, the parameters will never be defined. The parameters will take the value as the arguments. So Ranjit will be stored in name and hello will be stored in greet. Now, greet we have predefined. So here I have not mentioned anything. So It's showing me the default argument. Hey, Ranjit, will you excuse me? I'm just getting a call. Just 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
No, I think it was dropped. So yeah, that is what the default argument is.
Yeah, it's now coming.
It's
I
coming,
made
right?
some capital W1 welcome and small W welcome. So that's why it's a mistake.
That's fine.
So we have to be careful in typing also, no? So if typing error comes also.
Yeah, absolutely. So case sensitive and it's not space, it is case sensitive. So uppercase, lowercase, it will throw an error. But the good thing is in Python, it will tell you what the error is. If if you start coding for some time, you will understand, okay, this error means that particular problem. That error means that particular problem. So you would be able to take that call. But Python, a lot of other programming languages will give you some random error and you will just, tear your hair to understand what exactly the error is. At least the good thing with Python is it will tell
Indicates.
you, okay, yeah, it explains like this is the issue. Just fix it and then run it and it will work. It's 9:55. Do you want to continue? Because you said like at 10 you wanted to
Yeah,
stop.
10 o'clock I have to start.
Okay, then let's give it a stop today. So anyway, the lambda function was pretty huge. It would take some time. Not huge, I would say, but you need to understand it. It's not that complicated as well, but yeah, you need to understand how that works and where would we use a lambda function. So these two we can probably start from tomorrow. So 4 types of arguments that
Lambda.
we will see. We have seen just one, the default one. We'll see other three, and what is a lambda function. And then we will do some coding exercises as well. And meanwhile, if you could solve this particular problem, nothing like it.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
give it a shot.
sure.
And I will just store this one in the same GitHub link. You can just go there and download it. Okay.